Hey everybody, welcome to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also is moving things around a bit. Believe it or not, and I know it kind of looks the same, I'm in a new RV. Yep, I traded mine in and got a different one, a little bit bigger for me and the missus, and a little corgi as well. But anyway, enough about all the RV stuff. Welcome back to an Airsoftology Mondays, and this one is another one of your lost questions episodes, because I am on the road hauling tail to the West Coast. I'll be actually out there right after Thanksgiving here in 2015, out there to hang out with all my buddies and go visit a ton of shops and get some really cool footage for you guys from all the different places. It's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, we're on the road and I have some fantastic questions that you guys have asked and I've seen repeated over the time that are gonna be from a past couple episodes, and we're gonna get them on this show. And don't forget, I've got two fantastic giveaways, contests still going with our partners and our friends out there. So don't forget, the first one up is Fox Airsoft. We kicked it off last week. It's still going this week for the Transform M4. Now, if you go and you follow the link down below in the description, so just make sure just to click that sucker and head on over there, you'll actually just put your email in and you'll get an email reply from them. You'll be entered in, but that email reply is gonna have other ways to win. So you'll have more than one chance. Also, the other one, the big $1,000 giveaway from Palco Sports, that is still rocking and rolling as well. Also, link in the description below. So two killer contests. I mean, one for a great gun, ICS, the Transform M4, and then one also for $1,000 to use as a shopping spree. I mean, come on. Right now, it's holiday time kicking in, and what better way to get a chance to win a gun and a killer contest? I know it's a lot. I'm sorry. We're getting into those questions here in a second, and it's worth it because there's some really, really good ones in there. Did you guys see the gameplay footage? Irene 1, Part 1, and Part 2 are both up now, as well as my loadout video from Operation Irene. So that is all up and running. And a big thanks to Code Red Headsets and G&G for helping me get that thing going. And I had a chance to run the new G&G Predator at that game, and man, I had a blast. You want to see the Predator in action, definitely check out that gameplay footage. In fact, I'll throw some links up here on the screen. But don't click them just yet. Watch these questions first in the Palco Sports mail call. Josh Schneider writes, I'm relatively new to organized airsoft. My question is, are radio necessary for my first time at a big Milsim events like Lion Claws, or would be better off spending money on better gear? Hands down, the radio. Skip the gear, skip all that stuff. If you're going to an event or you're playing in a squad-based system, a radio is the most powerful tool you can have, and I would even arguably say it's as or more important than even your primary gun. Just being able to communicate, take those orders, and give information back is critical. And you'll see, and especially if you guys just watched my gameplay, shameless plug here, from Irene, the very first one, how chaotic it was in the opening scene, like the first part we're flanking an enemy force. Come to find out they're civilians, they look just like us. So it got really confusing, and in fact our own technical started firing upon us. So yeah, having a radio and having all of us on the same channel, which I did have a radio, but I wasn't on the same channel as a technical, and some of the other members of another squad we were with could have been a huge help into preventing that friendly fire, because we get chewed up really bad by our own truck, including myself. At that point, I would have traded my gun any day of the week for a radio. So yeah, if you don't have one, pick one up. Get a bubble pack radio, get a Baofeng, you can get those really affordably. Just make sure to kind of read up on the laws and regulations of how you can use it if you're getting like a Baofeng radio. But usually the way these Milsim events are set up, the bubble packs, the little Motorola talkabouts and things will work just fine for you. Ryan Spencer writes, hey Jonathan, I was wondering how you feel about electric blowback rifles. I've heard people say that they hate them. Was just wondering what you thought. So yeah, EBB guns or electric blowback are kind of coming a little more into popularity. And we're not talking about the ones where just the dust cover moves on your gun. We're talking about the ones that actually have a weight, a mass built into the gun, typically in the buffer tube or part of the piston system, that when you fire, it kicks that weight back and it gives you that kick of a gas blowback gun, but it's electric powered. I think they're young. I think they're, when I say young, not for the younger players, but they're young in their technology. They're still coming around. I think they do add a level of kind of realism, if you guys are into that sort of thing, without the expense and the maintenance involved with a gas blowback rifle. I mean, gas blowback rifles are great, but you have to spend a lot of money on green gas or propane, and there's maintenance involved. You got to clean it just like you do a real firearm quite often. It's not something you can do like an electric gun and just clean it every few months or so. So I think all that involved, you end up with something that kind of met in between. It kind of is like in the middle of the gas blowback and just a regular AEG, and gives you a bit of realism. Although I know some of the systems historically, the ones in the past that were add-ons, had some durability issues. I really think the new ones like KWA's electric blowback system that also the PTS guns use, as well as some of the new Lancer ones, are pretty darn solid though. John Sparks writes, "Hey Jonathan, I was wondering if you use any kind of homemade gear stand. I'm thinking of making one and wondered how you store your personal plate carriers and helmets." Well, right now, since I'm in the RV here, the travel trailer, it's kind of all jammed in a bin, all in the front, underneath, or tucked in the back of the truck, and it's in multiple places. So the gear doesn't get the love like it used to. I have seen the gear holders you're talking about. Typically, it's built like a cross. So you'll have a shorter piece on top, longer than that, and then a stand here at the bottom to support it. That way you can hang your plate carrier on the cross beam, and then the top piece that comes up, the top part of the cross area, you can put your helmet on. I think those work really well. You can build them with 2x4s, and I think there's plenty of links. Just type in gear carrier, how to DIY or something on YouTube, and you should be able to track down a half a dozen or more great ways to build it. Or you just find some that you see online and just kind of mock your own one up. It doesn't have to be perfect. Some guys go into the trouble of painting it, some guys just don't. In fact, I was just at LBT, London Bridge Trading in Virginia Beach, and they had some homemade ones just like that, holding up the new Costa carrier and their new 0300 plate carrier right there in the front lobby. And they're just made by 2x4s, and I think they were spray painted like OD or black or tan or something like that. So yeah, you can make one pretty affordable if you want to have it kind of someplace out so it can air out, which is nice. You don't ever want to put your gear away when it's all sweaty and gross. And then also have it on display if you like hanging it out there. Foster Benton writes, "Hey Jonathan, how important are night vision goggles for a 48-hour Milsim event? Should I invest the money into an NVG setup?" So most of the games I play at, the big Milsim ops, do have a night portion. Sometimes it's optional, sometimes it's not. And most of the time it's set up where night vision will give you an advantage, but not a massive advantage. So it's not going to be like, well, he has night vision, he's going to destroy everybody else. It's pretty rare that happens. The only times you see that happen are big outdoor events. So like, let's say Broken Home, Operation Broken Home, something that's a huge, just wooded, fielded area at night. I think like something like Folded Gap, night vision would have a huge advantage over not having night vision. But typically when I play a lot of these urban or mount facilities, it's a lot of building to building. They do have some sort of street lights. They're typically popping off those parachute flares, and they're giving the people that don't have night vision a good opportunity to be competitive. Now, like I said, will it give you an advantage? Yeah, I use mine and it does help. In fact, sometimes at night games, I've started weapon mounting mine instead of leaving it on my head, so I can still GoPro record, but then also use it just to kind of spot people and go, okay, there they are, or use it to walk my BBs in because it sits right behind your optic, and then you can still use the sighting part of your optic because you can see it through the night vision setup, because I have a set of PVS-14s, and hit your targets. And then when you don't, you can still preserve your night vision with your regular eyes, at least the eye you're not using, looking down the scope, and spot those targets. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. I mean, if you've got the money, if you got infinite funds, heck yeah, go pick up a set. But it's not gonna be a huge disadvantage, even at those big 48-hour games, if you don't have it. Well guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it's time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one goes to probably one of my favorite Airsoft channels on the planet. I'm sure you all subscribe to this guy now because it is the hottest channel, I think, probably, and fastest growing channel on the internet. It's Novrich, and it's the best sniper Airsoft gameplay you have ever seen. He's got out with his newest video, just came out last week. I think it's been up for just a handful of days now. And this is a kind of a headshot. And man, some of these shots are so awesome. And then more importantly, it's subtle because of the editing so good. The third person camera he's using, like the over the shoulder third person camera that floats with him, I freaking love that angle. It's so great. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely watch Novrich's most recent video. And rumor has it, he might even be heading to the States sometime next year. So we might actually get to experience some serious hardcore international sniping here in the US. Well guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging out here all week long and enjoying this Lost Questions series. And don't forget, I didn't forget you guys, everybody who did all the work and put your questions in last week. Fear not, I'm still going to go through those and this show. No more lost episodes for a little while. I'm kind of all caught up on those. So as we get landed on the West Coast, I'll have a fresh and probably a little bit longer Monday's video right after the holidays. So it'll be kind of a special Cyber Monday episode for you guys out there with all kinds of extra questions questions and goodies. So make sure to chock the old comment section full, vote up your favorites, and I'll get them on the next show. Also, don't forget those 2 contests you got running on there. The one from Fox Airsoft for the Transform M4 giveaway from ICS, and then the $1,000 giveaway shopping spree from Palco Sports. Both of them I got links in the description below. Just click on them, follow over, enter, and you are in the running. Details are always over there at the links too. If you have any questions on all who's eligible and who's not, just follow the link, it'll let you know. Well guys, as always, thank you so much, and I will see you next week here on Airsoftology Mondays, a special big one. And until then, go out, play some Airsoft, have some fun, but no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.